Somebody, me, maybe, I don't think so, at one point bumped my camera. Now it's like, it doesn't look right. Like the frame doesn't look right. And I have moved it this way, that way, up, down. It's gonna be, this is fine. This is fine. The two people that watch these won't care. So welcome back to my little, what was supposed to be a weekly author vlog. It's been a while, as in about a month. I think my last one that I recorded was like the last week of May, I want to say, and it is now June 6th for reference. To preface, I'm Beatrice Morgan, Beatrice B. Morgan, BB Morgan. I write fantasy, high fantasy, swords, shields, magic, mages, knights. I love that stuff. I wanted to do this little vlog to just kind of pull back the curtain and let people see what it's like week by week being an author. What we do, what we actually think, all of the steps that we go through trying to put out a book. It's been a journey. Every book is a journey. Each book is a different kind of journey too. My last one, I really should have watched my last vlog so I could know exactly where I was picking up. I had found an editor to do an editorial assessment on this contemporary horror-mance, romantic horror that I have been working on and struggling with for a long time. And I got that manuscript to her. It was several weeks later. I have now received the edits back. Time jump. And she gave me some very good feedback. Like, I am excited to get back into it, and I have notes. And I actually got it back last week. Sunday? Not this, like not yesterday Sunday, but last Sunday. I got the email saying that the edits were done. I did not look at them until Tuesday night because I needed to mentally prepare myself for just being critiqued, getting that feedback. I'm drinking decaf coffee tonight because I really, really wanted a cup of coffee, but it's late, I'm old, we can't drink caffeine after a certain time. But then God gave us decaf. But I got my edits back. Well, it ain't edits, that's an editorial letter with a few comments in the manuscript itself. But the meat was in the editorial letter. And she gave me some very, very valuable feedback. And I am very excited to get back into it. But I'm letting her feedback and her advice settle. I'm letting it settle before I do anything. Well, I said that. I said I was going to wait till I did anything. And then I rewrote the outline the next day because I was thinking about it and thinking about it. And the biggest part of her feedback was to simplify the plot. I think I made the plot too complicated. And now that she's also confirmed, like, yes, it's a little too complicated. We can trim it down a little bit. My new outline that I wrote, I did simplify the plot. I tried to take out things that were just, because if you haven't been following these vlogs, if you've never heard of me before, this is your first time, well, let me just give you a short version of this book. I have been struggling with it for years. And when I say years, I mean literal, it's one of my oldest works in progress that I haven't completely abandoned or deleted or kind of folded into another project. I have been fighting with this haunted house story for a very, very, very long time. And I have rewritten it, I don't even know how many times at this point. I have changed the premise, I have altered this, I've altered that, I've rewritten the entire thing multiple times. And this most recent draft, the one that I sent to the editor, I felt the most confident about that one than I have felt about any of the other drafts. It won't be like a complete rewrite. I'm just changing a few things. I'm taking out other things. And I think what happened was that in the process of me trying to rewrite this book so many times, I just cobbled it together, and there were pieces that are left from other drafts and other like renditions that don't really fit anymore. So this sweatshirt's slightly too big, and it fits funny. But I rewrote the outline, and I'm confident about that outline. and I would really like to get back into it and just kind of take the pieces of the draft that I have and put them into the new outline and just see how it flows. Because one thing I didn't do with this horror story, at least I didn't do it very well, is that I didn't outline very well. Or I outlined, then I outlined again, and I just kind of cobbled it all together. So it's kind of a little bit of a Frankenstein kind of book, and not in a good way. There's little bits and pieces that don't really matter. And with this new outline, I am thinking I can definitely trim down the word count to at least like 80,000 words. That's kind of my goal. That's where I want to be. But before I do that, before I touch that manuscript again, I have told myself that I have to finish book 5. I have also been working on this high fantasy series for a long time, and I have been since I think I started in August of last year. I reread book 1 and book 2, and I have did like a very quick revision. They are now in the folder that I share with my small press. It is in the hands of my editor over there, different editor, because they do all like my fantasy stuff, my romantic fantasy, and they don't do horror, so like I'm kind of on my own for that book. And I've gone back and forth between what I want to do with it, like self-published, I want to try to go traditional. I don't know yet. It's not something I need to think about right now, so I'm trying not to think about it. I will figure it out as I go. But I've been working on this high fantasy series, and the plan right now with the small press is we're going to rapid release it, kind of like we did with the last 3 books of Stars and Bones. We are going to do it all in 1 year, but we wanted to have the series finished before we did that. Now that the series is technically done, like book 5 is done, it's just in like I'm working on draft 2. But hold on, I'm getting ahead of myself. I have a list of notes here to follow. So I've been working on the high fantasy series. I was kind of struggling with book 4 because the ending felt really rushed, and I sat down one day and I outlined what book 5 would look like if I pushed it out another book, and I was really happy with how that outline turned out. Like surprisingly, it turned out really well. Everything just kind of came together much more nicely. So had that moment of the series isn't done, there's another book. Oopsies. So I've been working on book 5. I had a week of vacation earlier in June, and I had a full 5 days off of work. It is the first full week that I have taken off of work ever. I've never taken a full week off of a job, and it's a really weird feeling. And I know that's really weird to say. This is the first job I've had that I've actually had vacation time that I need to use. And I've usually just taken like a Thursday and a Friday off, or I'll take a Monday off, or a random day. But this is the first time I've taken a full week off. And I told myself when I did this that I was going to spend that entire week working on a book. And I spent that entire week working on book 5. And I thought it was going to take me the full week to just finish the first draft, because that was my goal. I wanted to finish the first draft. I wanted to get through it, get all the pieces of the puzzle together, so that way I can come back on the next draft and polish it up. I finished draft 1 on Tuesday. I had a full week, mind you. So I woke up on Wednesday and just jumped right back in. Right back in for draft 2. And it's not a full draft because I feel very confident about the first act of book 5. It's very strong. It sets up the character arc very nicely. So I started at the point where Act 1 ends. I started really at the beginning of Act 2, where it starts to kind of not be so nicely put together. And that's where I started draft 2, because I have already gone over Act 1, I think, a couple times. So it's really in draft 2 stage, and it's just the rest of the story that I have to figure out. And the rough draft of book 5 was really just me cobbling it together from what was left of book 4, the 30,000 words that I took out, and just plopping it in and just trying to figure out where all these scenes need to go. Can I keep them? Should I keep them? If I keep them, where are they gonna go? And it was a dumpster fire, okay? Draft 1 was me trying to make more sense of it, going back through it scene by scene, chapter by chapter, trying to figure out what characters I need where. Have I forgotten any characters? And turns out, yes, I have. But that's draft 3. Draft 3 problems. But I was working on draft 2 of book 5, and I got to the midpoint at the end of this week. So I made some very good progress, like substantial, significant progress on book 5. I am very happy with all of the work that I put in on book 5. And I did learn things that week. I made this list earlier, and I don't know what I did with it. It's probably on my desk, and the cleaning's gonna find it and be like, "What is this?" But the one thing I did, because I knew I had the full week, I didn't have to cram everything in on like the Saturday morning. So I knew I had time to write. I knew I didn't need to like push myself. I knew I was gonna have time, and if I burn myself out on, Monday, then the whole week's gonna be borked. So I set a routine. Like I got up every morning, I got ready as if I was going to work. I got my coffee, I came in, I sat down. And then I would work until about like noon or 1. I'd take a lunch, I'd come back, and then I would work again until about 5 or 6, depending on what time I got up, or depending on if I was really like in like a chapter in a scene. And then, when I kind of felt the beginnings of like when your creative energies is kind of, it's shrinking, you don't really have it anymore, I quit. I did not push myself to go past that point. Because if you go past that point, that's where you get into burnout stage. And you don't feel it immediately. No, it's like, it's like the drink that sounds really good at the time, but that is the drink that pushes you into hangover territory. But you don't know it until the next day. And I got significant progress done in my week in the writer cave, as I'm calling it. And then I didn't write for 2 weeks. I think I did kind of burn myself out there, like that Saturday, Sunday of that week, because I was pushing myself. Because then you got that dread of, oh no, I have to go back to work on Monday. I can't do this next week. Oh no. And the realization of you're not a full-time author. You have a real job that you have to go to that pays all your bills. But no, I've gotten progress done on book 5 since. I'm not moving terribly fast. It's been hot. July has been, not July, this is July, June. June was surprisingly busy. Like, I had something every weekend. There were just so many things happening, and I just didn't feel like writing, which is fine because I got like more writing done during that 1 week than I would have otherwise. Book 5 coming along. I am at that point where the new lore that I have added in for book 5, the lore that I've kind of changed, because it was very, very similar to another project that I have waiting for me to get into. I've actually been thinking about that one a lot lately, making me kind of want to jump back into it. But I have other projects that I want to do first. But no, so overall, on the writing side of things, positive. I have a positive outlook. I am looking forward to getting this high fantasy series. I'm calling it right now the Witch Queen series. The title could change. It's title pending. I am looking forward to getting this series done, getting it off my desk, getting it out of my head, getting it on a shelf, and just moving on to the next project. Because I have so many projects I want to do, and they're all fighting for brain space up here, and I don't have that much room on the stage. I think this past weekend I did 1 chapter, maybe 2. I did 1 chapter. It took all Saturday too. Oh, and then I read on Sunday, which I'm on the last book of the Defy the Night trilogy by Bridget Kimmerer. I'm reading book 3 right now, and I'm just slightly under halfway through, and it's really good. One reason I haven't been writing is because I bought a new game. It's a bookshop simulator. The whole point is you get to run your own little bookstore. And it's really cute. I had it on my wish list for a while. It's in early development. Early access is what it's called. But it's really cute so far. I played it the last, I think, 2 weekends for hours. And I just recently discovered there is a feature where you could add in your own books. Not like books, but you can like create them within the game, like books to put on yourself. So I created all of my Stars and Bones series. And so I have like the one shelf in this game in my little bookstore. It's all of my books. And I know it's just a game, it's just like a little simulation, but every time like a customer comes up with one of my books, I get that little thrill of like, oh, that's my book. And I know it's not real, but it's that little boost. I would love to have like a bookstore, but then at the same time, people, I don't know if I would retail. I don't know if I could do retail again. I mean, I could if it was like my store. So that's been my month. I wanted to do these weekly, but again, June just it just was it didn't happen. I didn't have time. I never felt like it. I would get home and just stare at my computer and just be like, no, because like I didn't really have anything worthwhile to talk about. It was all just mostly like me chugging along. I don't know. But yeah, book fight's coming along. It's almost done. I'm looking forward to getting that out, kind of getting in the process of like editing and like cover design. That's always exciting. I'm excited to get back into this horror-mance, romantic horror. But at the same time, I don't really want to have to rewrite it again. That just sounds so exhausting. So stay tuned to discover what happens with Book 5 for more updates, for more very insightful author discussions. This is coffee, I swear. I didn't get very much sleep last night. That's the big problem. So thank you for joining me on this little quick vlog update that I did. Stay tuned for more writer stuff. One thing I do want to do, which I might do immediately after this, I don't know how it depends on how you feel, is go over one of my blog posts about writing that I did in like 2017. I was like, oh no, is it going to be horrible? I'm going to find out. But thank you for joining me. I hope you have a good rest of your night. Go read a book. Oh, my hair looks terrible. It's fine. It's fine.